everybody, Mazzius616 here with another video today, and today we're going to go over the 2021 starter kit for Magic the Gathering Arena. This kit comes with 2 ready-to-play 60-card decks, a Magic play guide, a code to unlock both decks in Magic the Gathering Arena, which will be shown at the end of the video, and 2 deck boxes. My first thoughts on just looking at it is it would be nice if it came with a couple of those 20-sided dies so that you could keep up with life totals. But if you really need those, you can buy them individually, or you can buy some of the Planeswalkers decks that we may be going over later this month or next month, depending on what time this video goes up. It should go up on the 26th, I believe. Alright, so here we go. A little unceremonious unboxing. You've got your 2 deck boxes. Easy to tell which one's for which. You've got your Beta one over here, and then your Kogla over here. Kogla, I think that's how you say it. Titan Ape. As well as your Ready to Learn How to Play guide, which is right here. I'll get you guys that code. I think they're in the actual decks. And then a little starter kit that kind of shows you how to go through each individual thing. These things are really good if you've never played Magic before. From what I've seen online and what I've read and through other ones I've opened, these are really good if you are going to just be starting out to play. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. We have our Kogla the Titan Ape. Legendary creature Ape. When the Titan Ape enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control, so you get to choose what monster you crash into. Whenever it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. So that's before damage from the sounds of it, depending on how the stack plays out. And then 1 and a forest, and you can return target human you control to its owner's hand, and this card gains indestructible until end of turn. The downside of that is it is human you control, but say that this turn you can easily combine this with, say, a Plains deck, and they'll go nuts with humans on there. Alright, we've also got this Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose. This would be the deck that I'd play. For those of you that don't know, I'm very much into swamp decks. I like the darker side. I love the artwork. But speaking of artwork, just look at how that foil goes through. Alright, so he's a vampire cleric. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And then for 3 and 2 swamp creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. So getting this guy out would make the swamp deck just unbelievably good. Alright, which one should we go with first? We'll go with the green deck first. Save the best for last, in my opinion. I am very biased, I'll go ahead and let you know. I'm very much a swamp player. I'll always be on their side. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a longer video for those of you that have been with me. We're actually going to go through each of these. Colossification. Enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +20 plus. Holy crap. That could turn out to be really good. It's a bit expensive. It's a 7 mana cost, so that's going to be a little high. We also have Iron Scale Hydra. If a creature would deal combat damage to Iron Scale Hydra, prevent that damage and put a +1/+1 counter on Iron Scale Hydra. Holy crap, this card would be very difficult to get rid of. And that's not a once per turn limit. Tree Shaker Chimera, which, let's just take a minute to think that that is a horrifying way to combine those 3 animals. Looks like an antelope, a lion, and a wolf. I might get the first one wrong. All creatures able to block Tree Shaker Chimera do so. When it dies, you draw 3 cards. So that's almost one that you want to be destroyed, but it's also a good one to attack with first to wipe out your opponent's defenses. Yorvo, Lord of Garen Brig. Legendary creature Giant Noble. It enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it, which is awesome. Wow, and then you just keep to get adding +1/+1s. It's not bad. It's a 4/4 for 3. And as another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. If it was higher than him to begin with, you put another +1/+1 counter. So that's a really good card. It's not bad to start off. Alright, Almighty Brushwog, Trample, 3 forests. Almighty Brushwog gets +3/+3 until end of turn. So it's a good 1/1 to start with, and then you can pump them later. I don't know how many of these are in there. Alright, we're gonna go for it slightly different now that we got most of the rares out of the way. Bristling Boar can't be blocked by more than one creature, so he's pretty much gonna win just about every one. That's not too bad. 4 for a 4/3. Colossal Dreadmaw, it's a 6 with trample, but it's 6/6, so it's not too terribly bad. These decks aren't meant to be great, they're meant to be more of a way to learn how to play. When Honey Mammoth enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life, but it's quite a steep cost at 7. I'd probably take those two out if I were building the deck. Humble Naturalist, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. So that works if you decide to make this a dual land deck. Having a couple of those will definitely help bump it. Hyrexan Tower Scout, Human Scout. When Human Tower Scout enters the battlefield, untap target creature. So you can attack on your first main phase and then lay down one of those and have that creature to defend as well. When Llanowar Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card, tap to add a forest. Definitely good mana pumps. Plummet, target creature flying is a bit too specific for my taste, but I don't think green has a lot of just base creature removal, so that's not too bad. Run through, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. That's not bad. Still lets you keep your trample too, which is good with all the trample effects that green normally has. Snare Spinner, Reach, which is amazing. It can block creatures with flying. Remember, it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Supposedly as if it's wrapped up in its web, so it gets to attack a little extra. Titanic Growth, which gets reprinted every core set. I love this card. This card sucks so bad to be playing against. It's a +4/+4 pump for 2. It's cheap, it's easy, and it gets there. Alright, so as usual, we'll check through a couple of these forests. There aren't too many different forests, all definitely pretty. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. That looks like Yggdrasil, the world tree from Norse mythology. Nice peaceful forest like you'd find in your backyard. And then the kind of more dark forest, which I might end up combining these two decks together to make it kind of a play deck. Let's see if there's anything else other than that code at the end, which I will show. Ooh, there's not a code on here. It might be on the black one, otherwise I'll have to look through and find it. Or it was shown at the beginning of the video and I didn't see it. So that's the deck with, what's the top creature? I'll put everything on top. So that's the Kolga the Titanate deck. Not bad, seems to work pretty well. But we'll see how it shapes up against the Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up. There we go, standard draft, all the good stuff. I don't actually want to pull this off too bad because I don't want to hurt the cards. I do like the cards, they're always nice. And more than likely, these decks will be disassembled shortly afterwards. Let me check something real quick before we get on camera. There we go. That's where the starter deck one is. Alright. I got it set aside so that we don't forget. Demon of Loathing. 7 mana for a 7/7 with flying and trample. Deals combat damage. That player sacrifices a creature. Wow, that's actually not bad. Little expensive, but still not bad. Demonic Embrace. Enchant creature gets +3/+1. Has flying and is a demon in addition to its other types. And you can pay its mana cost and 3 life, discard a card to play this card from the graveyard. That definitely goes with Demonic Pact, let me tell you about it. Peer into the Abyss. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life round up each time. I mean, if you're in a pinch, this will be a good way, because it could be down to 2 life. You only lose 1 life and you get to draw your whole deck and everything. So that would definitely have its place more in the later game. Underworld Sentinel, a skeleton soldier. Whenever it attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. And when it dies, put all cards exiled with it onto the battlefield. Oh. So all of the cards that it exiled will end up coming back. That's not too bad. Let's go ahead and potentially save your cards. Blood Glutton. Lifelink. It's a bit high at 5 mana, but it's a 4/3 with lifelink, so that'll keep you alive for a good bit. Yeah, I figured there'd be more than one of those. Fetid Imp. So think of Rotting Imp, essentially. Gains death touch until the end of turn. So you can attack, tap a swamp if they decide to block, and bam, you end up killing the creature that blocked it, so at least it's a 1-for-1 trade instead of just you losing the creature. Finishing Blow, destroy target creature or planeswalker. It's a bit high, murder's a better one if you're just going for creatures. This may be the only way to outright destroy a planeswalker in black. So if you're playing against a lot of planeswalkers, that might be a good way to do it. You want to get those off. Gloom Pangolin. 3 for 1/5. It's got a good defense, so that'll be really good to kind of wall up for a bit. 3 mana is not a bad cost for a 5 defender. Gormad is one hideous card. Let's go and take a look at it. I mean, it may be ugly, but it's well drawn ugly. In addition to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. It's got flying, trample, and it's 6. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. That's not too terribly bad. I don't think I'd play more than one of them, just as kind of a shot in the dark. Grasp of Darkness, target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. That's good enough to kill a lot of creatures that you'll be playing with that early in the game for just 2 mana. So I definitely keep those in there. Lost Legion, it's a Spirit Knight. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. That's actually not bad. He's not too terribly expensive. 3 for 2/3 and you get to scry 2. Helps you get your strategy up for a little bit longer. Serrated Scorpion. I am not big on scorpions, but that is a pretty card. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Hey, have at 'em. I'll flush my deck with those. When Skeleton Archer enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. So it's a bit expensive at 4 mana for a 3/3, but it does have that 1 damage to any target, and then you can finish it off with one of your other spells. That seems a bit strong. Unlikely Aid, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. That's not bad. It won't lose to a damage, and you can just pretty much have that. And of course, the 2/2 Walking Corpse for 2 mana total, just staple of swamp decks. And yeah, you probably finish off with 4 of those, not bad. Alright, now of course we're going to look at the swamp artwork, so we know there's only 3 different ones. I do like how that looks. They do definitely take some time to make their lands look pretty. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite ones, because if you look in this corner right here, it almost looks like a dragon. And then that's actually quite a peaceful swamp to be a part of, with that waterfall in the background. Might be a cliff, but with the mist at the bottom, it makes it look like a waterfall. A man can dream here. So those are the 2 decks, and then of course on each of them, we'll go over this little thing. So the one thing that I'm going to talk about whenever we're going through these is they have to be done in this order per se. At least the begin step does. You must untap before you draw a card. If you draw a card before you untap, you are no longer allowed to untap your lands. I've gotten bitten by that more than once. You can only play 1 land, but you've got 2 main phases. One before combat and one after. If you decide to do combat, you can declare attackers. They can declare blockers if they wish during the combat step. I generally wait to summon my creatures till after the combat step. 1, it puts your opponent on edge because you've got untapped mana during combat. And 2, you get to be like, oh, and by the way, I summoned this huge guy right at the end. So those are the 2 decks. Out of them, I would honestly have to say, if I'm being honest, the green Titan Ape deck seems a little better, but I would still play the swamp deck regardless. So, got a little dog hair on there. Gotta love that. So Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose is the legendary foil you get for the swamp decks. And then Kogla the Titan Ape is the legendary foil you get for the forest deck. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you watched this far, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, comment down below, like, dislike, just interact with the video. Every little bit helps. It only takes a second or 2 to like a video or to subscribe. So if you guys would be so kind as to do that. And as promised, we have play these decks and Magic the Gathering Arena. So there's the code that you get. You guys are welcome to have my code. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you again next week.